this is Britt Caswell with another example video. In today's video I'm covering example 4 from section 7-5 in the SavvasRealize Algebra 1 textbook. The goal of today's video is to factor a trinomial with two variables. So what Savvas does is it starts by having us look at a few different binomial products. So they're multiplying these together. Now notice in these specific binomial products, there's an x and then there's some kind of y at the end on both of the binomials. So what happens here is it creates this pattern. Do you see how there's an x squared in the front and a y squared at the end? And an xy in the middle? What that's doing is that's going to follow a pattern for us when we go to factor. Alright, so whenever you see a trinomial that has a square and a square at the end with two variables and kind of a meeting in the middle of those variables at the first power in the middle, that's how you know that it's going to factor this way. Now everything else about this, other than when I fill in my variables, is the same way as every other type of factoring. Okay, so I've set up my double bubble. I fill in my x's. Now in this case I fill in my y's as well. Then I take the first sign and I drop it down. And then I look at the second sign. Because the second sign has a plus, I have to have matching signs. It also means that on my little factor table, I'm going to be adding those factors. So now I'm looking for the factors of 24 that add to make 10. Now there's a lot of factors for 24. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going rote through it. I'm going 1, then 2, then 3 and testing it, 4 and testing it. There we go, there's what I need. Alright, so 6 and 4 are my factors. And remember you put 6 because it's a bigger number with the one that falls down. In this case it doesn't matter because our signs are the same. So there we have it. And remember, I could multiply this back out using distribution or the box method in order to see that I'm doing it properly. Okay? So here's another one. So I set up my double bubble. I fill in my x's, and in this case I fill in my y's as well. My first sign is going to fall down. And then I look to my second sign to see whether I need to match or have opposites. So when I have a plus, these need to match. And I'm also going to be adding on my factor table. So I'm finding the factors of 32 that add to make 12. So again, I'm going to go systematically through this. So I have 1 and 32. I have 2 and 16. I have, oh, I don't have 3. I have 4 and 8. And there's the factors that match. Now hopefully the more the factoring that you do, the more that you don't need this table. So a person who has factored enough is generally able to do that part with mental math, which is really nice. Alright, so our last example here. There's my double bubble. Now I fill in my x's and y's. My first sign falls down. And then I look to that second sign to see whether I need to match or have opposites. In this case, because it's a plus, I have to match my signs. It also means that I'm going to add on this factor table. So now I'm trying to find the factors of 21 that add to make 10. So I know I have 1 and 21 and 3 and 7. And so when I add those, I could see that the 3 and the 7 win. And so the 7 goes with the first sign and the 3 with the second one. So there we have it, guys. That is how to factor a trinomial with two variables. Until next time.